Hi guys, this is Rusty78609. I'm in Marble Falls, Texas. Just left the grocery store and I'm headed home. But what I wanted to touch on while we're driving this morning is I'm going to get some tips related to particularly RV parks and camping or staying in RV parks, since I've had a little experience here recently in that area. I thought I'd touch on it. I've been full-timing for a long time, over 25 years. I got a 16-foot travel trailer and I go camping every now and then, as most of you know. And now we're headed, west on 1431 in Marble Falls, Texas. So anyway, tip number one, whenever you go into an RV park, if you don't have a reservation, and even if you do have a reservation, sometimes they don't reserve sites. They will give you a reservation, and when you get there, you pick one. So where you want to pick it? Well, first of all, when you're picking your site, be sure that your dump and your hose will reach their connection when you're parked, because some of them, sometimes I think they were built backwards. Because sometimes you'll park and get in just where you want it, and then you'll get out and realize that you got to have a 100-foot hose to reach their septic drain, and you got to have a 100-foot garden hose, and that's not good. That's not good at all. So kind of check it out to be sure that everything, your hoses will reach and your electric will reach, and also be sure, particularly you guys that have 50 amp, that they have 50 amp service available, and or that you have an adapter. I always carry an adapter. I've even got just a 110 cable that's 50 feet that I can run, because my RV is 30 amp and I have an adapter to plug the 110 into the 30 amp adapter. So yeah, we're good to go on that score. So that's one, just be sure everything will match up. And two, if you have the opportunity, try to get an outside spot. If you're making the reservation over the phone, just be sure that your outside spot is not next to a main highway. You're not going to like that. Or that it's right next to the garbage dump, and they only have one garbage dump for 100 sites. You're not going to like that either. I've done that. But it's not bad, because fortunately the garbage dump, the dumpster that I was close to had a heavy rubber lid, so when they slammed it, it wasn't too bad. But for some reason, people do enjoy slamming garbage dumpster lids. It gives them some kind of feeling of power, I guess. But so yeah, try to avoid that. And also there's flies that kind of get around the dumpster sometimes, so you don't want to be in that area. Another area that's not really great, but not too bad, some people want to be right next to the bathhouse and the recreation room. That's your choice, but just remember that recreation room there is for a reason. Sometimes they have events there on Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, or in the evenings, and if you're not into noise and stuff, sometimes they're playing music, and I've made that mistake. And at state parks, they usually have one large area where people can have reunions and weddings and parties and stuff. And if you get next to that, it does add a little privacy, because usually it's not used very often. However, I was in the lake near Las Vegas, New Mexico, and I happened to get right next to it, and I thought, boy, how wonderful, I got all this privacy. And I got there on a Monday, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was great, Thursday was okay, and Friday evening the bomb went off, because about 2 o'clock people started showing up. The music was turned on, and it didn't turn off till exactly 10 p.m. when the quiet period started. And that happened on Friday night and Saturday night. So just be aware that can happen. Also, another little tip, if you park, some RV parks have a fenced-in area where people can turn their dogs loose, and it's a pretty good fenced-in area. Sometimes it's maybe 50 feet by 50 feet, even though they hate to waste that much space. Some of them do, because they charge an extra fee for the people that have dogs. But if you get near that, two things. One, sometimes those little dogs will bark every time you move. Number two, Sometimes there's a little odor because if you get enough dogs in there, even though people supposedly, quote, pick up after their dogs, maybe some of them forget. Okay? So just be aware of that. And then other than that, just if the spaces are just really packed together, if you win the dog lottery, and I'm not against pets. I mean, I understand why people have pets. My son has pets and he loves them, and that's great. But when pets are confined in an RV, if the owners are not there, that little pet is a little bit hyper. And while the owner's gone, if you make a move either in or out of your RV and that dog can see you, they're going to bark. And that can happen off and on all day long, even when you're trying to take a nap or read a book. So just, those are just some of the things you need to be aware of. And all these things apply to state parks, national parks too, wherever there's a lot of people gathering together. And this is Granite Shoals, Texas, guys, on 1431 in Central Texas. Temperature right now is 87 degrees. This is August the 8th, and it's a nice day, and I'm in absolutely no hurry, and that's why I'm doing this video. But yeah, what else related to RV parks? Now, there's one here that, there's not much you can do about it until after you become aware of it, and that is water odor. And most of the time, the water odor will occur at RV parks that use well water. City water RV parks, not much of a problem. But I do want to mention that when I was in Capitan at the RV park there, New Mexico, that the water had an odor. I promise you it did. It was like the H2S gas or hydrogen sulfide, the rotten egg smell. And the city water department told me it was magnesium that caused that odor, and there was nothing they could do about it. But it is there. It wasn't horrible, but you did notice it, particularly when you took a shower using the hot water. And there was also another spot that near Capitan out in the country there that had the same smell, and they were trying some things to eliminate it, not having much luck apparently, because it was really bad there. I mean, it was so bad it would gag you when you were taking a shower. So just be aware that those issues can happen. And you can't. I've got one of those Camco filters that you put on your water hose, or before it comes into the RV, and it doesn't filter that out. It does not filter that smell out, because I thought the filter was defective, and it wasn't. It wasn't. It was the water, period. And that filter didn't filter out magnesium or the H2S. It's the little Camco blue ones that screw onto your garden hose or your water hose. You can get them at Walmart in pairs for about 20 bucks. And what else can I think of about RV parks? Of course, the prices are out of sight now. Or they're not out of sight. They've just gone up a little bit because, it's supply and demand. And, the supply has grown, but so has the demand. So, it's not unusual to find prices ranging anywhere from 30 to 60 bucks a night, and anywhere from 180 a week to 300. And as far as monthly, which is usually your best deal, the lowest price one I found was in Capitan, New Mexico, was $185 a month. But you get kind of what you pay for. It's a small RV park in town, and it was quiet, I'll give it that. But as far as a view or anything like that, forget it. And the water did have a little odor. And and then the one I stayed at out near Alpine, Texas, about 8 miles out of town. I would mention the names of these, but you can find it. It's the only one there. And I don't want to downplay their sites, because I stayed at them and I may stay at them again. So, but the water has a little odor there at the one near Alpine. Not really bad. I was okay with it, just for taking a shower. And of course, the drinking water I filtered, and actually I double filtered. I used the Camco filter, the garden hose or water hose, and then on the inside I've got one of those Culligan pitcher filters, and that seemed to get rid of all of it, doing it both. So I drank the water and used it for shower water, and it was okay. But anyway, those are just some of the things you need to be aware of. RV parks are what they are. They're a for-profit business. And you get in an RV park that has over 50 sites, or if you get in an RV park that has over 25 sites, your chances of winning the dog lottery are very elevated. All right. Now, and when I say that, I mean most of the dogs are well behaved when the owner is there. If they leave and don't take the animals with them, then that's where you get into a little situation, in my opinion. And then of course also you can get into a situation where the person next to you is hard of hearing. And so when they want to listen to their television or their music, you can hear it 100 miles away. And it's just one of those issues you have to deal with. Just remember, people are people. They're not thinking about you. You may be thinking about other people. There are a few that do. I do. I try to put myself in that position, the position of that person next to me or whatever, and turn the music down and keep the noise down. But some other people don't think that way. It doesn't occur to them. They feel like they've paid their fee and this is the way they enjoy life. And if you don't enjoy it, tough crap. So that's not good, but that's the way it is. So anyway, we're kind of cruising here on 1431. I'll end this video just a second. Yeah, we're going to go up over this little hill here that leads into Kingsland, Texas. But RV parks are what they are. As far as the tips that I've just given you, probably the most important one would be, and I left one out. Be sure the site is reasonably level. That you pick. Because leveling an RV front to rear, particularly a travel trailer, is a non-issue, because you can just crank the front thing and raise it up and down really easily. It's the left and right side problems that if you have to put a lot of boards under one side or the other, that gets to be that's not fun. But what else? Enjoy your travels. That's it. Just be careful. If you take your time, I didn't when I was younger. I'll admit that I'm guilty of rushing, and so I'd just pull in an RV site and pick the first one and go with it. And then I'd get out and realize my hose wasn't long enough, or the drain hose wasn't long enough, and I'd have to move the RV to get it where it would work. And so those are things that happen. But be that as it may, I've got a Casita coming, a 2019 Casita Freedom Deluxe, and I'm excited about that. And it's going to be a little warm here in Texas today, but now that I have 2 air conditioners in my 16-foot RV, I think I'll be okay. Anyway, guys, from Central Texas, USA, this is Rusty 78609 coming into Kingsland, Texas, and saying thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye, buy anything your little heart desires. But if you think about it, use the link to Amazon products in the description of my videos. Why? Because I get a small commission and it does not cost you 1 penny. What else? Drink plenty of water, stretch, walk, do all those things to keep your health so that you'll feel like going traveling, particularly those of you that are nearing retirement. If you're without your health, you're not going to want to do it. Take deep breaths. That helps lower stress. Just breathe in deeply, breathe out. That lowers stress, lowers your blood pressure. That's great for you. What else? Stretch, walk. I just finished my walking at the big grocery store. I walked for 45 minutes inside the store. Perfect it's nice walking in air-conditioned comfort, I guarantee you. And then what else? Stand guard at the door of your mind. Don't let negative Nancy or negative Ned get inside of your head. Anyway, guys, adios amigos. Bye-bye.